Send passes!
This that question, I will probably say to the viewers out there that I will mention this person's name, but I will bleep it out, because again, I don't think it's fair to mention players' names if they're not here to represent themselves. But you know, just for this conversation, I'm going to mention his name, and anytime you guys mention this player's name, I will bleep it out as well. With the situation with him moving from your team down to our team, and Ben, I think you was there actually at our game against Clapham.
Yeah, which game was that one?
Where we lost.
Oh, when you lost, but you lost to Clapham twice. Which one you lost?
But like second time when everything kicked off in the changing room.
Oh, okay.
And at half time.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I think that was the fuse for everything else to happen. Personally.
Okay.
So with that happening, and you know, again, I've got great respect to play with him at Norton.
Okay.
So like I've like 20 years almost. So I've got mad like respect for him. But for him to come back into the fold for the A team, possibly play, I don't know. How does that look on the club in general and your own management decisions? Because that in itself is a disciplinary. That in itself is a suspension. That in itself is a huge fine. So
what? Leaving the game at half time.
Leaving the game at half time.
Did he walk away from the? Because the stories keep changing to me. You said he left the pitch. I was told he left.
He left
the
at
team
half time.
At half time. I never knew him to walk off of no pitch.
Well,
but obviously that situation isn't an ideal situation. We wouldn't want people to leave the game before the match is finished. But so, as long as there's no obscenities, there's no violence. If he decided to go home at half time, that's up to him. I wouldn't put that in the same category as someone being violent towards another player or, you know, doing anything crazy.
But what I'm saying is
that's somebody leaving because they're frustrated, they're upset, and they've just left the situation. I'd rather that than them grab one by the throat, swear, fight, and, you know, embarrass the club. But as I said, it's not an ideal situation. It's not something that I would actually look upon favourably.
Okay, but you
know, taking into context, as I said, as Lloydie's phone was just ringing there, could be a player with some kind of problem. It could be someone asking anything. As I said, we're a family, so we know the players inside and out. So we know them in football and out of football. To really so that, really for someone to do something that's out of character, sometimes we know what they could be going through out of football, and we take all these sort of things into consideration when we're making decisions. They're not light-hearted decisions. They're not decisions that we would make on our own. When he came back to the other team, it was put to the managers of your team, and they were asked, is it okay for him to transfer back? The comment made was, yes, no problem, thumbs up. So that, to me, gave it the all clear. If they said no, then it would have been a different story.
Do you think that timekeeping on match days has become a problem this year, and do you think that's affected some of the sloppy performances? And this is literally an addition to that question, and again I'm going to focus on Lord here. Again, coming up, you know, always turning up late to games, and
Players or me?
You.
Okay, me.
And literally, how do you expect players to get geared up on games if you're always coming late?
Well, firstly, I work on Saturdays, so I'm not just late for just waking up out of my bed late. I leave work to come to football, and when I leave football, I go to work to finish off what I should have been doing, and I work till 8 o'clock in the night every week.
And we've got things in place.
We've got things in place.
We've got myself, and we've got Jason who assists. So we do all the admin, we do all the organisation, we get all the team sorted out and ready, and then Lloyd gets there when he finishes work. We can't expect people to be giving up their money.
I never ever get there rarely I get there after, I'd say they're late. I get there late in the changing room, where I'd say they're getting ready to go out. I could have my talk. Recently I've been better because I know the team needed it. Like it makes a massive difference, and that's why I make the extra effort. Now I have to work later, but it is worth it to me. So lately, since I've given them a little talking to, really, about where we was going, where we was at after the defeat against Wambells. I looked at myself. It made me want to do better though. So how I felt, I had to make the players feel how I felt. So I had to give them the truth, because the truth is the truth, and it's what I believe in. And I believe that they have reacted from that day, from the moment they walked out of that dressing room that day. It was a different team. So I make the extra effort at work now. Like I will leave that, go, even sometimes go on Sundays. So I'm ending up at like 7 day. Don't get me wrong, it's only like a half an hour on the Sunday, but you know, I go out of my way to do what I can do. I just knew that at the time definitely affected us, so I had to go, because I know it's a bit different. I get in there and make sure and G them up a little bit, but to be fair, they should be at this level of player. I don't think they need to be G'd up for a game. So I relaxed, but I realised when that defeat, you know, like we need to do this. We need to do it all together. It's not just them. I need to be with them along this, and you know, I make the extra effort now. So yeah, answering your question, it definitely.
Yeah, generally the timekeeping is not the best, and you know, it's that old saying: if you prepare badly, prepare to fail.
Fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
There you go. That's the proper version of it. But you know, it's all about, if we are there on time, we get all the paperwork done. Lloydie hardly ever plays. He's given up his starting place in the team. So for him to come when we're getting changed in the change room has no effect. As long as the players and myself and Jason are there to get all the beginning all sorted out, it doesn't matter. Lloyd comes and he joins the team talk, and it's been working swimmingly so far. But initially, in the beginning, the players had a problem with their timekeeping, and that did affect us in a number of games.
That's why I made an extra effort, because obviously I was gonna put the rule in and stick by it if you're not there. And to be fair, I have, you know, even we've dropped. If you're not there, you're dropped, you know. So to even have that rule in place, it's nice to be there to make sure that nobody's taking
it's enforced.
You know, and even me. So you know, I can see when you're late now, and when I'm there, I mean it. If I say it, like, I mean it, and then they know that the starting place is gone, and
once the team's named,
and now everyone's early,
and they know. Even when they come late, they don't say a word, because they know if the team's been named, they're going to be on the bench. And sometimes it's been one of the best players. It doesn't matter who it is.
I'm quite shocked at that question. To be fair, it's because it's been like this for a couple of years now. Everyone knows what I do. They tease me after how much you got, you know, like they will do things like that. So that question is a shock, because that question should be to the other players. Do you think the players, if they was there early, because that was the real problem. Even when I come late, players were still not there.
What do you think can be done to support grassroots football?
I think funding should be more readily available to clubs and teams, because it's quite a lot of money. You got to buy equipment, you got to buy the balls, the kits, and then you've got to pay so much for the pitches. So it's quite a big ask for players to keep funding this, and it's a lot there. But definitely, if there was more funding and better quality facilities, that would be perfect. Because if there's better quality pitches and facilities, I think there'll be less injuries, and you know, it'd be more enjoyable, better quality of football. And then the funding would let you, you know, buy better equipment and so forth, and then thus make the games more enjoyable.
It's definitely funding in England. In grassroots football, with the weather in England, with these pitches, they need a lot more of 3G pitches, without a doubt.
Yeah.
They need a lot more of
quality ones,
but not the 3G pitches what you see up in Crystal Palace or nothing like that. They need the one that we played on Sunday. It was a different planet of 3G. You know, funding like that. That's what's they need to put things like that into grassroots.
There's so much money in professional football, especially at the top, like ridiculous money. People getting bought for more than 100 million. So, and earning figures like that also. So, you know, some of that money should be coming back
the cancellations in grassroots football, because of the actual facilities, is way. That's why you end up playing the leagues. Our last games when June the
3rd, I think.
June the 2nd.
Yeah,
June the 2nd. You know, the Premier League's finished now. The FA Cup's final is gonna be come and gone, and we're catching up in the summer when we should be with our families. And you know, what's the other alternative? Stop playing football? You know, they need to definitely get some facilities.
Yeah.
Get some facilities in the local parks where you can actually go and afford to pay for them as well, not just hire them out. Because what they will do is they'll put them and build them. It costs how much? They get funded to do it. They'll put the pitch down. They'll pay 100 grand, but they rent it out every week. That's not funding football. You should be giving it as peanuts. That will be funding football.
There's been a big push now in terms of mental awareness now in sports, and generally now in football. When, you know, people get to our age in the elite level, they are retiring, and we think that they've probably done everything that they wanted to do, but sometimes it's a downward spiral for them. You know, suicides, we've heard people lost their money, families, etc. So how important is it for like you guys to probably speak to the players about mental health, and also probably like the fundamental thing is just realizing that football is a passion and people should enjoy the game. Lloyd?
I always say, if you got love in you, you see problems. You don't have to really. Don't get me wrong, some people hide them, but the obvious ones, when the real problems are there, and especially if it's people close to you and you know them, you can really see a problem. And if I saw any problem in any of my players, I'll be the first one to help. And while I go and help, I'll phone Ben and tell Ben, and we're going to help together. We do that. There's actually times when we've actually, you know, not gone into our lives and whatever, but you know, we're there for our players, and have been there for our players.
And they're there for us as well.
Yeah, because
it's gone. We've been doing this for more than 5 years now, coming up.
5
years. It's going to be 5 years, and lots of things have happened to us and the squads within those 5 years, and you know, the solidarity and the support that we've given each other is another reason why we are a successful club, because it's not just the football. We care about each other's well-being, mental health, depression,
anything
anything.
Going through,
and people are going through things and have done, and we've been there for each other. So we wouldn't properly like stick it under the umbrella of mental health awareness within the club, but we are people that care for the people in our squads, and we've been, you know, quite active in supporting one another through difficult times and different types of difficult times.
Last question, it's funny enough that we kind of touched upon, is what do you think about what I'm doing with looking at amateur football stuff, the things that you've been seeing or things you've been hearing?
We're like proud you're part of the club, because we see it as an extension of our club. I know it's your thing, but we kind of embraced it and taking it on as part of the club, and we're like proud that you're doing it. The quality is getting better and better, the content is getting better and better. It's actually interesting watches. You've got great creativity. Some of the funny little videos that you've posted in your group are like some of the funniest videos I've seen for a real long time. Like, I think if you put them out there with a bit of the story behind why it was made, I think you'll get a lot of smiles, because it had me laughing in like council chambers. I was sitting there laughing to myself. But yeah, it's quality. You're putting in the time, you're putting in the graft, and I can just see it growing and growing. And yeah, we're just happy that you're part of the club, and you're putting us on the map as well as yourself.
No, it's a pleasure. I'll tell you something. Do you want me to be brutally honest? I'm not going to sit there and give you this straight like Ben and just, do you want me to be honest?
Be brutally honest.
I wish you was in the first team doing that shit. I really wish you was, because I know, like, I'm that much of a fan. Don't get me wrong. I love what you do for them, but it's just a wish that someone was around us doing that on a constant week to week, because I think it'd be a good show. It could even turn up. We got some characters. It could even turn into telly, mate. It's amazing. And to be fair, everyone who plays the game deserves that sort of, what can I say? They deserve that sort of exposure, you know, where they never made it, because it was everyone's dream to make it as a footballer. Every kid's dream to make it as a footballer. So to come on and be broadcasted doing it, it's absolutely amazing, because, you know, you got to check it. You might have family in other countries. They can just go on YouTube and watch you and see what you're doing weekly. It's actually amazing, you know. So yeah, big up to Brees. I hope you grow and grow. And like I said to you, mate, I'll do anything I can. I've actually suggested certain things to you that I know opened your eyes to even push it even more. Me and Ben's actually even said, when we do certain things and, you know, put like an amateur footballer, you know, like to put the stamp on the badge to when we're speaking about with what we're going on to do. So yeah, we're big fans. Keep doing what you're doing, because like I said, I ran a joke and said you should go further. I was dead serious, you know. I think you do your job very well, mate. Very, very well. You've done me today, though, because
how
you made me sitting all serious, thinking and it's thinking who's firing it. Mine, how you answer it. Oh, mate, not nice. Not nice to Brees.
Pressure.
Anytime you're welcome, man. Yeah, you're welcome. You're more than welcome.
So guys, I want to thank you again for spending your evening here. Actually, well, we're at your house, Lloyd. So again,
thank you for coming.
Thanks for your hospitality.
Yeah, no worries.
So guys, if you can like what you've seen, please like, subscribe, comment. My name's Tabrice, Lloyd and Ben, joint managers, Peckham first team. Thank you for watching.
Passes, 100% passes.